Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another session with Emenne Fine on this Rich Nigerian Mentors program. Today, we are going to be looking at how to increase the productivity of your organization. Now, most of us are coming to the end of our business financial years, and most of us are planning how to run our business over the next 12 months. And what we'll be looking at today are the things you can do to help your business to grow its sales, to help your business to improve its productivity, and to help you, most especially, increase the return on the investments you are making in your organization. Now, for any business that wants to grow, there are two critical areas that business must get right. If you can get these two areas right, then the success of your business is almost 90 to 95% guaranteed. The first area is the area of finances. Understanding the finances of your business, understanding the cash flow of your business, understanding the return on assets, return on investment of your business, understanding the financial implication of having any financial decision, any decision you are making. But that is not the aspect we'll be looking at today. The aspect we'll be looking at today is the aspect of staffing. That is the second most critical important aspect of any business. Once you can get that aspect also right in your organization, there's nothing that can hold your business down. Most businesses are suffering because they fail in this second aspect, which has to do with staffing. That is why today we'll be talking about how you can get your business right in the area of staffing such that the productivity of your organization can rise radically over the next 12 months. Now, some of the things that we'll be sharing today are things that you've heard before. Some of them might be novel to you. But most importantly, what will be different about what we'll be hearing today is that we want you to make use of the things that you'll be hearing today, apply them in your business, and watch your business grow in leaps and bounds. So, as you listen to us, get your pen, get your paper, and take note, and take the key points, and not just take them down, but from over the next 24 hours to the next 7 days, make sure that you start to implement them almost immediately. Because, especially for those of us who are in Nigeria, these are not the times for any business owner to take his business for granted. These are not the time for any business owner to relax, because things are really getting very difficult for Nigerian businesses, and only those who sit up at this particular point, those who learn to know, who know what to do at this critical point, are those who grow their business and survive over the next 12 months. So, what are the things you can do as a business owner to improve the productivity of your staff? The first thing that you must do is to analyze your staff. Get a piece of paper. Write out all the qualities you expect from your staff. Write out all the things you expect each staff to do when you are employing them. And then on a scale of 1 to 10, write out how they measure up. Get out all the metrics of the businesses, how you used to measure your business growth. Write out all the metrics and start to list how these staffs, each of them, measure up on these metrics. Now, after you have done that, look at them and ask yourself, who are those who are productive, and those who are not being productive for your organization, fire them. It means that the first thing you need to do for your business for the productivity of your business to increase over the next 12 months is to fire those staff that are very unproductive. Now, is this thing easy? No. Because I've watched a lot of my clients. I've seen them, after we have analyzed the staff, we've pointed out the staff they too know that have been very, very unproductive. Not just unproductive, but have been a massive negative influence on other staff. Still, these guys have left these people in the organization for 12 months, for years, and they are watching these guys negatively influencing their organization, and they are not taking the key decision to do something about it. So the first thing you need to do is look at these staff and fire them. Even Jesus, when he started his ministry, there was a time that a massive crowd tried to follow him. So much people were following him because he had just fed them. And he looked at them and said, you guys are not following me because you believe in what I'm saying. You are following me because of the bread and the fish that you ate. And he said that for them to really key into his ministry, that they need to eat his flesh and blood. Immediately he said that more than 95% of those following him had to leave. It means that with his word, he fired more than 95% of his staff. If Jesus could deliberately do things that can wipe out the wrong crowds from following him, you too also need to look at your organization and take decisions that can eliminate those people who don't fit into your system as at now. A lot of business owners find it easy to recruit, but they find it extremely difficult to fire. This is not the time for you to carry excess baggage on the boss of your business. For those who don't measure up at least up to 50 to 60% in performance level, this is the time for you to let them go. The next thing too that you also need to do is set clear performance metrics. For each staff, look at the office and tell yourself, these are the metrics for rewarding them. No longer promote people based on the number of years they spend in your organization. Start to promote people based on measurable metrics. Let every staff know from day one that for me to be promoted, for me to get my allowances, for me to get increment in salary, these are the metrics that I must meet up with. If you don't set up those metrics, I can tell you it will be very difficult for your business to grow. For every organization I've worked with over the past few months or few years, the first thing we set down for them is measurement metrics. For your salespeople, they must know the target they must meet every month. Even your accountant must know the number of calls of your debtor that he or she must make. They must know the number of clients they must reach out to every month. Set out these clear metrics. If you don't know them, take each position in your organization, go and research them on the internet and find out the necessary metrics that is used to assess people who are performing who are working in that particular role. It's important for you to start now to measure the performance of your staff. Nobody should just be count 30 days, make 1 month and collect salary in your organization anymore. Everybody who collects any money from your organization must justify the reason for collecting the money must be justified. So for anybody who is earning a salary, who is collecting money from your organization as a salary, you must say that yes, this person on a scale of 1 to 10 met at least 7 or 8. For those people who don't meet up the necessary performance metrics, those two also need to let go. It's important you start to measure performance in your organization. The next point also that I also want you to measure for you to increase the productivity of your staff in this coming dispensation is you need to learn to start to commend your staff. You know, recently I was watching Ron Kenoli at an event he had recently in Nigeria, and at the end of the event, he turned back and started to mention the name of the people, the support singer, backup singers, and the band that played with him. Now, these are people who he just met in less than 2 or 3 days, but he had got to know their name, and after the event, he mentioned the person's name, the drummer's name, and asked people to clap for them. And that rang a bell in my head. And I remember that in the Bible, that Paul, in most of his epistles towards the end, will always say, list out the names of other people who were with him. Timothy is greeting you. Let's say it's related to the Corinthians. Timothy is greeting you. Titus is greeting you. It means that it is important for you to start to commend those who are working for you. A lot of us find it easy to criticize our staff. A lot of us find it very easy to point out what they've done wrong. But very few of us, as very few employers, take out time to commend their staff when they do something right. In fact, a very notable speaker said that if you want to increase the productivity of your staff, for every time you criticize them for doing something wrong, start to take out time to notice the things they do right and start to commend them at least 5 times for anything that they do right. The moment you start to commend your people, the moment you start to inspire your people for doing things right, you find out that they start to go the extra mile to please you such that you can praise them the more. You know, most staffs are like children. When you praise a child for doing something right, that child will start to work harder, do things better for you to continue to praise him. Every human being craves appreciation. All the staff working for you crave appreciation. So the moment you have taken out the wrong staff by firing those who you don't need, start now to work more on appreciating and commending those that you have. The more you commend them, the more you appreciate them, the more valuable they see themselves to the organization, and the more productive they become to the organization. The next thing that you also need to now do is you must start to train and mentor your people. You know, I find this strange that the average Nigerian business owner will employ his staff, tell them what to do, and never take out time to teach them what they want them to do. They feel that this person is a graduate, should know what to do. If you have been doing that, know that you've been slashing the productivity of your organization by more than 50%. You know, a recent study was done by comparing the very successful companies to the mediocre one. And they found out that for the very successful ones spend more than 30% of the annual budget on staff training and retraining. The moment you start to train your staff on the area of their job, on how to get better on their job, the more productive they will be to your organization. So if you have not trained your staff recently, make sure that you key into your budget over the next 12 months, at least 5 trainings for your staff, which means every 2 months, a staff member needs to attend a training. And most importantly too, as the business owner of your organization, you need to look at what you personally have been doing right and start now to teach your people what you know on how to run your business very well. You know what? That is one thing area I've been working on with a lot of my clients. I try to get them to know that, see, for your staff to get better, you know what the things that you need to do. Start to teach them those things that you need to do so that they can replicate it in your business. If you look at Jesus in his own system, you find out a lot of times you take his staff, his people aside and start to teach them. Because the more he taught them, the more confident they became. So that when he sent them out, he didn't need to go out with them. They could go out and do almost exactly what he was doing. It's important for you to start to train your staff. Training is critical, is the backbone of every successful organization. The staff working for you, most of them might be graduate. How did they become graduate? Because they went to university, they went to school, and they were trained on how to become maybe a doctor, engineer, or whatever. Training got your staff to where you are currently. You need to now do more training for you to move them to the next level. The next area that you also need to work on is start to give your staff bigger responsibility and step back a bit for them to execute the job that you're giving to them. You know, most of your staff have been highly unproductive because you've not been challenging them enough. It has been found out that the greatest advancements in human history has been done when humanity were faced with massive challenges. The more you learn to give your people more responsibility, the more productive they will be. And most importantly too, don't be a micromanager. Give them responsibility, step out, step back for them to make the mistakes. It's when you make the mistake that you can correct them. A business owner recently said that if he analyzes his staff and finds those who have not made any mistake over the course of 12 months, that those are people who will be penciled for sack. Because it means that they've been playing it safe, they don't want to make any mistake. That is when somebody makes a genuine mistake and learns the lesson from that mistake, that is when that person can grow. The moment you start to give your staff more responsibility, start to challenge them with bigger responsibility, that's when they can rise up to that challenge. But if you don't give them anything that will challenge them and leave them to see even if you leave them to make the mistakes and learn from the mistakes, then it will become difficult for your organization to grow. Give your people more responsibility. The next thing also you now need to do for the productivity of your organization to rise is start to reward excellence and punish laxity. Start to reward excellence and punish laxity. Start for those who achieve something very great for your organization. Start to reward them. Let people know that when they work extra hard in your organization and achieve something, that there's a reward attached to it. Let people be sure that for working hard in your system, that your system has a way of paying them back for it. And also let those who are lazy, who do nothing, know that there's a punishment for them not doing anything. When you start that, when you reward excellence and you punish laxity, you find out that those who are productive will become more productive, and those who are lax, who don't go out to try to become better at their job on their own, because they know they will be punished for not being productive, on their own will start to leave your organization. Rewarding excellence and punishing laxity is a key ingredient of weeding out those who don't fit into your system. So stop increasing salary because you feel that, okay, the month is coming to an end. When somebody does something, send the best staff in your organization, send them on vacation, the company-sponsored vacation, so that they can see, yes, this guy. Others can see that this guy was rewarded because he was excellent at what he did. Now, for those who came late for work, let there be a kind of a fine for them for coming late. And for those who rarely do anything to improve their productivity, demote them from their current position. When you start to do that, you find out that your system, the productivity of your system will start to rise radically. The next point too that we'll be looking at is for you to increase the productivity of your organization, you personally must grow yourself. Jesus said in the Bible that the servant cannot be more than the master. The servant can only get to the level of his master. It means that if you don't grow, your people under you can only get to your level. Meaning that if you're a level 3 leader, the best that your staff can get to is a level 3 leadership too. It means that if you as a person, the maximum sale you can generate is 1 million, there's no way that the staff under you can do anything more than 1 million. Therefore, for your staff to become more productive, you too need to start to develop yourself. Start to read books. Read at least one business book every month. Start to attend seminars yourself. Start to personally develop yourself. Look at, if you analyze yourself, grade yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, and make sure that you start to push yourself to head towards 9, 10. The more productive you are personally as a person, the more people you'll be an inspiration for those who are following you. But if you set your resolution time in your organization is by 8 o'clock and you come to work by 10, there's no way you can inspire your people to become more productive. So in those areas that you want your people to become productive, use to lead by example. Start to develop yourself. The more productive you are, the more you also pull up your people. But if you don't develop yourself, then expect the next 12 financial years to be very challenging for your business. Now, the next point I want to make is a critical point for every business owner. Because any business that lacks direction is destined to crash. And the direction of every business is charted and drafted by the business owner who has the vision of the business. It means that for the productivity of your staff to increase, you must paint a picture of the vision and mission of your business for your staff to see and make sure that they grasp it. You must be able to describe in detail where you want to see your business over the next 12 months. It must, if possible, get somebody to paint it out for you. Write out in clear terms the goals you want to achieve over the next 12 months. State clearly to your people, these are the ways we want to achieve these goals. It must be clear to your people what you want to achieve. Don't just say, okay, let's start and go. Any ship that lacks destination will end up getting nowhere. For your business to get to the right destination, the destination must be very clear to you. Where you are getting to must be very clear to you. When you have a clear vision for yourself, your people too can now key into it and drive your business to that destination. But if you don't have a 12-month goal, if you don't have a 12-month vision for your business, it will be very difficult for your people to become productive because there's nothing they are looking to that they are working towards. You know, personally, I've noticed in my life that any day I don't write out the goals, the things I want to do for that particular day, I find out that I'll be less than 50% productive. But the moment I write out what I want to achieve in that particular day, I find myself becoming more productive over the course of that day. The same thing to have to apply to your businesses, to your staff. When you set out a 12-month goal, declare a 12-month vision for them, you find out that this staff become more productive for you and will achieve more for your business. The next key point, which is where most business owners fail it, is for your staff to become more productive for you, you must become their family member. What do I mean by this? You know, recently a client of mine, one of the staff was having a birthday party for the child. And I called this guy up and said, see, you need to send out at least one staff member to this party. Most even if it's possible, you two need to show up. And this was a girl that was very productive for this organization. And on the day of her child's birthday party, nobody showed up from her company. It can be very demoralizing when your staff don't see you become part of their family. Even Jesus went to the house of Peter. And when in the house of Peter, he saw Peter's mother-in-law sick and he healed her. Jesus went to the house of Matthew, and there other tax collector came to meet him. It's important for you to get into the personal life of your staff. Get involved with them, get to know their family members, get to know the challenges they are facing in their family. That way, just because you care, just because you have shown that extra interest in their family, you find them putting extra effort to help you to grow the business so that you too can also show more interest in their own personal lives. It's those that show interest in us that we show more interest in. When you as a boss show interest in your people, they too will go out of their way to show more interest in your job. You know, recently there was a business owner who at the end of every quarter will go around and start to visit the homes of his staff. Now, people were finding it funny that this guy was doing this, but they did not correlate it to the extra productivity of his business, that this guy's business is extra successful. They did not see any relationship between his visit to the success of his organization. You too need to learn this, that there's a correlation between you visiting your staff in the house, building a relationship with them beyond their work, business owners to employee relationship, building a personal relationship with them to the success of your business. You need to start to do this for your business to grow. The next important core area for you to increase the productivity of your staff over the next 12 months is start to listen to them. See, you brought these guys into your organization for them to become productive for you. And I find it strange that most business owners want all the ideas to come from them. You know, I had a client who felt that he was a know-all and all ideas was coming from him. And these staffs, there was something that was going wrong within the organization. Almost everybody saw this thing going wrong and nobody raised it. Until when this guy now called me to say, okay, come and find out how would we help this my company to grow. And I now called a staff meeting and I started to ask them, what are the challenges, what are the problems that we need to solve? And they started, each and every one of them started to mention a critical challenge that most of their products were having, that most clients, most of their customers were having with their products. And the boss was shocked, saying, this thing has been happening in this organization and nobody has ever told me about it. And I pointed out to him, that the other ideas they've been pointing out to you, you've not done anything with it. And because you've not done anything with it, most of them say, well, why do we come up with more ideas? It's important for you to start to listen to your people. Ask them for ideas. Ask them for input into the business. And most importantly too, start to hold at least monthly business meeting with them. Sit down with your people and ask them, what are the areas we need to improve in? What are the areas we need to make some changes in? The more you do this, the more you see your business productivity grow over the next 12 months. Now, we've been talking for some minutes, and I believe that there are some points that you've picked. These are key points that can drive your business over the next 12 months. But most importantly, if you ignore them, these are things that if you ignore will ensure that your business does not grow over the next 12 months. And based on what is happening, especially in Nigeria, these are not the time for any business owner to toy with their business. You need to give your business the best shot at growing. And this way of increasing your staff productivities are the things that I feel will help your business grow. Now, we've lined up a series of trainings and seminars and over the next 12 months. Most of them are free, which I'll strongly advise you attend. There's one that is coming up on the 13th of February of 2016. I'll suggest you register for them. Visit our website, www.richnigerianpharmacist.com, or send us your phone number, your email, and your name to 08023622171. 08023622171, or visit Rich Nigerian Mentor page on Facebook and look at all the seminars that are coming up. Send your people to some of these seminars. You too attend some of them, and I guarantee you that this coming financial year will be a wonderful one for your business. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.